Welcome back to Gamescom 2013. We're here at the EA booth with Battlefield 4. I'm Alex Mendez, or Golden Boy of CW, alongside Corey Dunn, or Corey Dunn. I used that joke once, but it's still funny.
No, it's not.
Okay. And now, that was an awesome interview, by the way, with Patrick.
Dude, I loved it.
I'm glad he answered the voice.
I was just
the voiceover
drilling into it, seeing what I could find out.
Yeah, man. Like, you actually, because, you know, we have a director. He's awesome, and the crew out here, they're all amazing. I hear he's like, you know, Corey, you can go to the commercial. And Corey's like, all right, I have one more question. And then one more question.
I've got one more sub-question to that cover. It was still one question. I just wanted to dive down deep into it.
It was a tiered question.
It was a tiered question. I knew what I was doing.
Oh, man. So, yeah, obviously, guys,
no breaks.
We are
looking
just keep
at
driving through everything that you guys have been asking us, and we want to make sure we're getting the appropriate answers for you guys. Just so you know, I'm really going to be focusing a lot eventually on one of our interviews on the console, questions.
Yeah.
Be getting a lot of those. I actually, in case you guys don't know, and if you don't follow me on Twitter, shame on you, but...
Well, hey, honestly, let's if we don't have anything to dive into right now, let's start talking about it. If you want to,
I would love to. Okay, here we go.
PC gamer like myself, allowing you to talk about consoles for a little bit.
We win,
So
guys.
the first thing I want to talk about, though, is the migration, having the ability to migrate from your Xbox 360 to your Xbox One. And also having your capability of migrating from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4. So those migration stats, everything that will carry over with you. All right, now you can take on the rest, talking about gameplay and everything else. That's all I got.
I had a chance to play Domination on PS4 just the other day, yesterday.
We can't hop into game right now as well.
Yeah, we can't go ahead and jump into the action, so I guess everyone's here grinding it out. So let me go ahead and talk about Domination on PS4 and just Domination in general. So you guys may know it as like small Conquest or just a 3-flag Conquest game type that a lot of the competitive community ends up using too. And this is something that DICE looked at, and they were like, this is something that works, and we want to put it into Battlefield. So I had a chance to play that. I played 5-man, so it was a 5-on-5. And it was on the mid-island. So if you actually whip up the map real quick, Corey, and you could bust out right there. So you can see B Island right there. That island is where the battle takes place. But it's actually a little closed off on the dock side where A is. So A is still, like, the point is pushed up a little bit more. I would say around, like, that range there. And then you have the B point, which is, like, smack dab in the middle, and then C, which is on, like, the other side. And it was very fun, very enjoyable. I had a great time. Actually, no, scratch that, I apologize. They cut off this portion here. And this was B. So where B is currently is actually where B was last time, because I remember fighting in between the two buildings. And it was really fun. It was like really fast paced and intense. And I can tell you guys comfortably, if you are a console user, you will not be disappointed with Battlefield on your Xbox One or your PlayStation 4. It is running at a beautiful 60 frames per second. I mean, just awesome graphics. It looks like the PC version, hands down.
One of the things that you really, you correct me if I'm wrong here, one of the things that you really didn't understand was why you started to really like watching PC games. Why did you like playing Battlefield 4 on the PC is because of the 60 frames. I mean, you notice a difference. There is a visual difference between 30 frames and 60 frames for those of you that are not in-depth gamers.
Yeah, so you clearly notice it, and that thing for me when I'm playing on these PCs here that are like really hopped up PCs, thanks to like the AMD processors and all that stuff, AMD stuff that we're running through in these PCs. Again, I'm not a PC guy, so I'm not like, gonna know all the terms and stuff. But again, it is just it's just night and day. Battlefield 3 running at 30 frames per second. You can clearly tell the difference. It feels a little bit slower, feels a little bit more, feels a little sluggish, and even DICE will tell you that. But Battlefield 4 on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One runs fluidly. So yeah, there's that aspect of it. Controls were actually fairly solid as well. A lot of people were telling me like, oh, how's the aim assist, how's the auto aim, things like that. Things that terms that console gamers are, hardcore console gamers are very accustomed to. And I could comfortably say that it really isn't bad nor noticeable. And in all honesty, the controls felt very, very responsive. I mean, I had absolutely no problems. My game, I went like 18-4. Then again, I was playing against like other convention goers, so it's really not that hard. And it kind of,
I'm just saying, I'm just not going to be that hard.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, these guys, they're gamers, but yeah, just slap them around a little bit. No, but seriously though, like it was really fun to play. I was playing as the, I believe it was the engineer class. I was actually using one of the PDWs, PP2000 as a matter of fact, and I was just destroying everyone in the B flag. So again, domination, super, super entertaining. Look at this low flying jet here. This guy is a beast. Someone actually asked about stingers and low flying jets on Reddit, and I don't know. I don't have an answer. Is stingers lock on to low flying jets or not? Oh, that's unfortunate.
He went AFK. He's got to go.
He had to go potty.
Mom made him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
He's like, come over here. He's like, okay. Yeah. So I don't know if low flying jets will not get locked on by stingers. I believe they still do. So don't quote me on that, but that's just what I've seen because I've been using the Stinger as well as the IGLA, and I've been able to lock on to pretty much anyone that's been near me. That also includes low flying jets. So, excuse me. So yeah, so that's just some feedback for you guys. But yeah, like there's just so many things about this game, man. A couple of things that people have asked me. Are there camos for vehicles? Yes, there are camos for vehicles, and there are a lot of them. But I also want to say that my favorite camo, and it's also the same camos that you would have for your guns. So the same camos for your guns you will have for your vehicles. My favorite so far, I found my favorite camo, Corey, is Firefighter. Firefighter camo is awesome.
Eastern Turtle still.
Eastern Turtle's sick, don't get me wrong, but Firefighter is so bright and vivid, it's sick. The other thing, another person asked me about the sun glare. Is it as intense as it was in Battlefield 3?
Something we talked about with Patrick about.
Yeah, and I noticed, for me personally, I was just playing, and one, I noticed they also positioned the sun in such a way that it actually does not get in the way of you, right? So I noticed most of the time I'm not facing the sun when I'm fighting, unless I'm like charging A, but they did a good job of that. And also the glare, not as intense, but the visual is certainly there. So I don't view that as an intense glare. I think that's okay. But I know some people may be like, oh my God, it's so bright. For me personally, it's not. So I don't know what you guys, what your thoughts are in regards to that, but you can feel free to sound off in Twitch and Twitter as well as Reddit. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. I feel like you're always fighting in that direction. The direction you're facing, you're always fighting in that direction. And even then when you're fighting up, you don't see it because like there's just so much jungle everywhere. There's so many things that are blocking the sun, that intense sunlight.
Well, one of the things too, though, I mean, the sun brings another little nice factor there. You can see that the storm is now going to start to roll in. See, this is one of the things that was mentioned about any of these boats. I mean, the attack boat is going to be a lot more effective.
By the way, I want to ask you just when the storm runs in, so DICE opted not to make bullets affected when the intense winds are coming in, just the waters, correct?
Just the waters.
Just the waters and for boats.
The helis are actually, anything that's flying as well is not affected.
Yeah.
Get the perspective here from that.
You really want to see what these people, because you want to do that? Do you feel like that's the best perspective?
We'll come back to it.
And by the way, Corey, not a windmill, it's a turbine.
It is a turbine, you're right.
Okay, it's a turbine. One more really minute detail that someone had asked me. There is an M18 smoke grenade in the game that you can actually use instead of a frag grenade. So someone had asked me that. They were like, I really want to know this. And how does it work? Well, you just throw it on a smoke grenade. It actually creates a pretty potent cloud of smoke there, and you really don't feel like it's you actually get pretty decent cover. So I would have to say, if you do have the option to use a smoke grenade to capture an objective, definitely do so, because that will be pretty effective.
Yeah, just kind of talking real quick about any of the grenades you can have. You can have the M67 frag grenade, the V40 Mini, the RGO Impact, the M84 flashbang, the M18 smoke, the M34 incendiary grenade, as well as a hand flare. That's probably one of my most effective weapons, is the hand flare.
Yeah, the hand flare. Over her. Hand flare is pretty cool. Someone asked if, let me see, will there be a theater mode or at least a record feature? Because of the next-gen consoles, there will not be that in the console version, at least I know. And I also know that in PC version, I mean, this is based on what we spoke about at E3. they mentioned that there was not going to be a battle recorder, but the spectator mode, it certainly can help you to record things using third-party applications such as XSplit or Wirecast or Fraps or something like that. I use XSplit to record, or OBS. So, I mean, at the very least, you can use other means to capture if you want to. So you're not crapped out of luck there. And then someone said here, if this is actually Captain Quick Crap from Reddit says, if IGLAs aren't lock, shoot, and forget launchers anymore, and you have to keep the lock on, then is it any better than the Stinger that are still look, shoot, and forget launchers? So I know that the Stinger is less accurate. I know that the Stinger will actually, kind of lose its target a little bit easier than the IGLA. The IGLA, you got to keep it on the aircraft, but for the Stinger, if the aircraft is good enough, if the pilot's good enough, he can actually get away from it, I think, a little bit easier. That's something I saw personally in one of my play sessions, because there was a guy next to me who was using a Stinger as I was using an IGLA, which I thought was awesome because it was able to give me a good perspective on it. When I died, I saw that he shot the Stinger and the jet was able to outmaneuver the Stinger missile. So I think it's actually fairly balanced. Again, though, a lot of these things are going to be tweaked and changed, but from what I'm seeing right now, they definitely have been looking at what you guys are saying and then applying that to the game.
Quick question here that we're having about does a sniper kill in one shot? No, it does not. It's similar to that of Battlefield 3 and any of the previous versions, but there is a battle pickup that you can get. So we'll go ahead and take a look here and see. It's going to be up in, there's one here on Paracel Storm that is up in this region that has not been picked up. This battle pickup has the capability, it is a one-shot kill. If there is limited ammo, once it's picked up and dropped, it's gone. You can't just carry it around with you. That may be earlier here in the alpha stages. I've noticed whenever I tried to pick this weapon up, there's also one that is over in this island, and I will find it this time.
Yeah, and also let me see here real quick, because there was something that was actually asked just a second ago about I'm gonna, in our next interview, I'll be sure to find out about the dog tag competition. I know a lot of people have been asking me about that.
There it is. I told you I'd find it this time.
Yeah, you found it.
So one of the things that I tried to do is I tried to pick this up. Of course, if you're wondering, these weapons are going to be on all of or majority of the maps. I don't want to say all, that's a scary word to say. It's going to be on majority of the maps. And one of the things I noticed is once you pick up the weapon and you start to swim, you actually lose the weapon, and it never regens. It doesn't come back. So it's not one of those weapons that you have to worry about. It's just use it at the right time. Those are battle pickups. Again, there are 4 on the map, 2 different varieties.
So wait, if you go into the water, it goes away?
Currently, if you go into the water, because you don't actually exchange your weapon. Okay. You pick it up, and you still have both of them. And once you change back to your primary weapon, it ends up. It ends up getting dropped.
And I also know, because I spoke with Daniel about this for the battle pickups, they work on a dynamic spawn timer. So the way that works, basically, in case you guys are not aware of the term, pretty much when you pick up the weapon and you use up all of the ammo, it will come back after 60 seconds. This is something that, if I'm correct, they are looking at providing tweaks for, and also just if you want to be able to tweak something yourself. So actually, the cool thing here is that the battle pickup itself, it's a power weapon. And if you're a fan of Quake, if you're a fan of Halo, you know what that means. And I think that's actually pretty cool. Adds a little bit of depth to the game, kind of makes that an objective. And of course, these players here are not going to be aware about it because they only know so much based on what they're being told. But the cool thing is that when you guys dive into the game, you're going to know all this stuff, and then you're going to know, yeah, we definitely got to fight for the battle pickup here on this island, or we got to fight for the battle pickup in this building. So that's going to add another layer of objective for you guys, and especially if you guys are nuts about that, which I am as well. So
well, it adds a whole new metagame into each map, and that's one of the another benefit to kind of look at. There's also going to be different elements of Levolution on majority of the maps as well. Again, we're just looking through each one of these. One of the things that you may be noticing over the spectator mode is all of the different grenade icons that are populating.
Yep.
That's only in the spectator mode right now.
It is going to be fixed.
We're talking with Daniel Matros as well, and he knows, he sees it. Also, there's been mention about whenever you're capturing a point. So right now you can see on the edge of your screen, we'll go ahead, you can see that where the C point is, that's how you know it's available. Whenever you start to get within a 180-degree turn of it, it disappears because you're basically kind of looking around. So that way you don't have to worry about, and this happened so many times for me in Battlefield 3, is whenever you're looking in a general area, it would basically take over the screen. So you couldn't see your enemy.
Yeah.
You had to shoot through an emblem and hope that you're hitting your spots looking at hit markers.
Yeah. And that actually is pretty cool there. Some people asked about the kill cam, so it's not really a kill cam.
No.
It's more just like you died and now it's time to go back and deploy.
No. Let's give it a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
It's what it currently shows. Whenever you die, it shows where your opponent is from your location. It zooms in from your location. It shows the player as it's highlighted in orange. It's going to be a little bit more, there's going to be a little bit more to it then. But currently it's highlighted in orange, showing where that player is. So if they're behind a wall, if they're a sniper in the distance, if they're in trees or anything like that, it's currently highlighted. So there you go. That's going to end that game again. We are paying attention. We are scrolling through, trying to keep up on Twitter.com, also on Reddit, trying to follow every bit of information that we can. It's difficult because right now I'm seeing basically 5 to 6 tweets every 30 seconds. So there's a lot that's happening. So
yeah, I mean, obviously, we always want to make sure that we're answering the questions that you guys care about. Of course, so there have been some overlapping questions, so I'm just going to do a little PSA here. Just go back and watch the other broadcasts because we have had some discussions on the squads, and we will always refresh you on certain big topics like why is it you're going to have 5 people per squad and all that other stuff. Corey will break that down for you guys. But, of course, go back and watch the rebroadcasts we've done as well because there's a lot of other juicy information and interviews as well with Lars and Patrick there as well because we've been learning new things every single day.
There's also a video if you want to start to really see what competitive Battlefield can look like. You can head over to facebook.com/Battlefield and be one of the 6.1 million likes that are on that page right now. You can be updated on all the latest news, also get some really great highlights. It's also, they're following the community as well, like Jack Rags. I mean, they're just in tune with the Battlefield community as is. They know that the community is what makes up the game anyway. But with that being mentioned, I mean, there's one of those highlights from what we did yesterday with Obliteration, just showing a moment and what it could really look like, and just picking up the bomb, leaving his player there on the leaving into the ocean with the boat, but leaving the bomb carrier on the beach side, and then we see him run away because he's being attacked. He hops onto an ATV, road kills a player on the opposing side, rushes into the water, gets taken down. Then a boat carrier, he's the one that jumps out of the boat. So that's the one again, proving the fact you have to be on foot, because you're just really not on foot whenever you're swimming.
Yeah.
But you have to be out of the vehicle, hopping back into the boat, taking it to a bomb point, and blowing something up. That 3 minutes was just classic of showing what competitive gaming is really like, especially in Battlefield.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of people are really stoked about competitive gaming for Battlefield. It is something that in all my conversations and dealings with DICE, something that they certainly are very, very interested in.
Well, Daniel Matros, for sure. I mean, he has such a great esports knowledge, understanding the background. I mean, here in Europe, talking about the ESL, all of the different things. We're going to have Daniel Matros. He's going to join us here at Gamescom, and we're going to look forward to asking all of the questions. We'll grind him over the coals as well and see whether or not he can be able to put up with the flames. I mean, there's so many things that we can try to really figure out if he knows about it, about competitive gaming. So, I mean, we still got so much more Battlefield 4 to talk about here from Gamescom here in Cologne, Germany. We'll be back after the break with myself, Corey Dunn, and Alex Mendez. We'll be back.